Alright guys, welcome to another Let's Play Them Games presentation. Today we're going to be looking at 3D Body Adventure, released in 1994 for the PC. Actually, it was released in 1993. Here we are. We're going to go on an adventure through the body. 3D Body Adventure. Should we get started? Here we go. Click to enter 3D Body Theater. Click to play the Body Recall game. Click to play the emergency game. Maybe we should start with something easy. Click to activate the 3D body viewing screen. Let's try that.
Prepare for body imaging and exploration.
Oh yeah, it's a cool beat. Cool beat. 3D Body Adventure. Click directly on the body to begin exploring. To move the body to a new position, click on the rotate body icon. Use the arrow keys or move the mouse to rotate the body. Click the mouse or hit any key to get a cursor. Let's spin them around.
Click directly on the body to begin exploring. To move the body to a new position, click on the rotate body icon. Use the arrow keys or move the mouse to rotate the body. Click the mouse or hit any key to get a cursor.
Let's check out the skull.
The skull.
So,
The skull consists of the cranium, which surrounds the delicate brain, and the facial bones. The cranium is formed by 8 bones: the frontal bone, 2 parietal bones, 2 temporal bones, the occipital bone in the back, the ethmoid bone behind the nose, and the sphenoid bone. The face consists of 14 bones, including the maxilla, upper jaw, and mandible, lower jaw. The bones of the skull are quite hard, and protection of the brain is undoubtedly their most important function. Interestingly, several of the bones are hollow, a feature which reduces their weight. Imagine how heavy your head might feel after a long day if these bones weren't hollow. These air-filled spaces are called the paranasal sinuses because they are located all around the nose. The membranes which line the sinuses sometimes become inflamed because of allergy or infection. This is a common condition referred to as sinusitis. All the skull bones, except the mandible, are held together by immovable joints called sutures. The mandible and the 2 temporal bones are held together by freely movable joints, which are named, not surprisingly, the temporomandibular joints, TMJ. The TMJs usually work well to permit all the complex motions required for chewing and talking. Some people, however, develop pain in their TMJs. This condition is called temporomandibular joint syndrome. TMJ syndrome is usually the result of spasm of the chewing muscles. Headaches, facial pain, and various popping noises are all common in patients with TMJ syndrome. Treatment is generally directed at reducing the muscle spasms and relieving the pain. Besides protecting the brain, the other major function of the skull is to house the special sense organs. The eyes, vision, ears, hearing, nose, smell, and tongue, taste, are all located in the skull. The sense of taste is accomplished by the approximately 10,000 taste buds. These are mostly located on the tongue, with a few located at the back of the throat. Surprisingly, there are only 4 different tastes that can be differentiated by the taste buds alone: bitter, salty, sour, and sweet. The taste buds for each of these 4 different tastes are grouped together on the tongue. Of note, the taste buds for sweet are all located at the very tip of the tongue. Our ability to distinguish a rich range of tastes is actually due to our sense of smell, which is much more developed than our sense of taste. The sense of smell is accomplished by special nerve endings that all sit in a small region in the roof of the nose. Our sense of smell is remarkably sensitive. As few as 4 individual molecules can produce a recognizable smell.
There's sure a lot to learn from this. This game is very educational. So this is an edutainment game from Let's Play Them Games. Let's check out the arm, the elbow, the humerus, the radius, or the hand. Let's start at the top and move our way down. Start with the shoulder.
The shoulder.
Yes. Look at that. We can move the shoulder. Move the arms up and down. Neat.
The shoulder is a ball and socket joint which connects the arm with the body. 3 bones come together to form the shoulder joint. These bones are the humerus, arm, the clavicle, collarbone, and the scapula, shoulder blade. The deltoid muscle sits on top of the upper arm and shoulder. This powerful muscle works to lift the arm away from the body. There's a fluid-filled cavity under the deltoid muscle, which serves to reduce friction between the muscle and the underlying joint. Occasionally, this cavity becomes inflamed and painful because of excessive motion. This condition is called bursitis. Bursitis can also occur at a number of other joints, including the elbow and knee. The tendons of 4 muscles merge together around the shoulder joint to form a reinforcing structure called the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff can be damaged by excessive stress. This is why rotator cuff injuries are common among professional athletes, especially baseball pitchers and football quarterbacks. Another common problem is dislocation of the shoulder. In this case, the top of the arm, humeral head, comes out of its normal socket, glenoid cavity. Some people have relatively lax shoulder muscles and are prone to shoulder dislocations.
Interesting. Let's move along to the humerus.
The shoulder.
Oh, wait a second. We just looked at the shoulder.
The shoulder is a ball and
The elbow.
the elbow. The elbow is the hinge joint which connects the lower end of the humerus with the upper ends of the radius and ulna. The elbow permits the arm to be bent by the powerful biceps muscle and then straightened by the triceps muscle. The biceps and triceps thus form a pair of muscles which have opposite actions. It is a general rule that the muscles of the body are organized into pairs or groups which have opposite actions. The elbow also allows the forearm to be rotated without moving the upper arm. This is very important for some actions, such as turning a doorknob. This rotation motion is called either supination or pronation. Supination is the action of turning the palm face up when the arm is held straight out, away from the body. Pronation is the action of turning the palm face down when the arm is held straight out. Following the general rule, these important movements are accomplished by a pair of muscles with opposite actions. The words supination and pronation are related to the words supine, which means to lie face up, and prone, which means to lie face down. Repetitive motions can strain the tendons of the elbow and cause pain. Tennis elbow and golfer's elbow are common conditions resulting from overuse and strain of the elbow tendons. Most everyone has felt the pins and needles sensation caused by hitting the tip of their elbow. This is often referred to as hitting the funny bone. The temporary pain is caused by impingement of the ulnar nerve, which travels through a narrow groove close to the surface of the skin as it passes over the elbow.
Interesting again. We just learned about the shoulder. We already talked about the shoulder.
The shoulder. The shoulder.
Now let's take a look at the radius.
The elbow.
That's also
The elbow.
Let's take a look at the hand.
The digital hand.
Look at this. Cool, huh? You can move it, close it, and open it. Cool.
The hand is the most versatile part of the skeleton. It enables people to grasp and manipulate objects. The hand is comprised of the wrist, carpals, palm, metacarpals, and fingers, phalanges. There are three main nerves which travel to the hand: the median nerve, the ulnar nerve, and the radial nerve. Each of these three nerves connects with a specific part of the hand to permit movement and sensation. Intricate hand movements are achieved by using the small muscles that are contained entirely within the hand, the intrinsic muscles, and the much larger forearm muscles. The forearm muscles are connected to the bones of the hand by long tendons. Tendons and ligaments are often confused with one another. A tendon is the fibrous attachment of a muscle to a bone. A ligament is a fibrous attachment between bones.
Interesting. Click to learn about carpal tunnel.
The carpal tunnel. The median nerve and the flexor tendons for the phalanges all travel through a narrow space in the wrist called the carpal tunnel. The roof of the carpal tunnel is formed by a ligament called the flexor retinaculum, which connects the carpal bones at the front of the wrist. Carpal tunnel syndrome occurs when repetitive hand and wrist motions cause swelling of the flexor tendons and squeezing of the median nerve. This impingement of the median nerve is the primary cause of the pain associated with carpal tunnel syndrome. Surgical treatment involves cutting the ligament which forms the roof of the carpal tunnel. This makes extra space and frees up the median nerve. Carpal tunnel syndrome can also be treated with braces, which prevent excessive wrist motion.
Right on. Let's see what else we have. Let's learn about the ribs. Where'd the music go?
The torso.
The torso.
The torso is the part of the skeleton that protects the internal organs. In the back, the spinal column encases the all-important spinal cord while allowing humans to maintain an erect posture. The shoulder blades, scapulae, and clavicles provide an attachment point for the upper extremities. The ribs are important for protecting both the lungs and the heart. The pelvic bones serve to protect the organs of the lower abdomen and pelvis. They also provide an attachment point for the lower extremities.
Interesting. That's the pelvis. Here's the sacrum. Here, these are the ribs. This is the cervical spine and the lumbar spine. We can click on it to learn more about the spine.
Lumbar spine. The spine.
Isn't that funny looking?
The spine is comprised of 26 vertebral bones. From the top to the bottom, there are 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar.
Oh, sorry. I was just trying to turn the spine around.
Lumbar spine.
Want to learn
The spine.
about the lumbar spine? Set it up straight so you can see it.
The spine is comprised of 26 vertebral bones. From the top to the bottom, there are 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae, the sacrum, and the coccyx. The sacrum is comprised of 5 fused bones, while the coccyx is formed from 4 fused bones. The lumbar section of the spine is shown in the 3D model above. Each vertebral bone connects to the vertebrae above and below it by 2 facet joints. There are also fibrous discs that separate the bones of the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar sections of the spine. Interestingly, these tough intervertebral discs have a jelly-like core. The facet joints give the spine its flexibility, while the discs cushion the vertebral bones during activities like running or jumping. The transverse and posterior spinous processes are the primary attachment points for the numerous muscles which hold up the spine.
Right. Let's keep it moving. Check out the femur. We already
the leg.
Pushes the whole leg. We have the leg, which can move like this. Let's hear what the doctor has to say.
The knee is the hinge joint that connects the main bones of the leg, the femur and the tibia. The kneecap, patella, lies over the front of the joint. There are strong ligaments on both sides of the joint called the medial and lateral collateral ligaments. There are also two ligaments within the joint called the anterior and posterior cruciate ligaments. All four of these ligaments serve to connect the bones of the knee and to provide additional stability. Like other movable joints, the bony ends of the femur and tibia are separated by protective cartilage which serves as a cushion between the bones. There are two of these cartilage cushions in the knee. They are called the medial and lateral menisci. The powerful quadriceps muscles are responsible for straightening, extending the leg at the knee joint. These muscles are in the front of the thigh. The kneecap is actually a large bone within the quadriceps tendon. The quadriceps tendon is thus commonly referred to as the patellar tendon. The hamstrings are the muscles which bend, flex, the knee at the knee joint. These muscles are located in the back of the thigh. There are a number of common knee injuries. Severe twisting of the knee will frequently sprain one of the knee ligaments. The difference between a sprain and a strain is often confused. A sprain occurs when a ligament, fibrous connection between bones, is damaged. A strain occurs when a muscle or tendon is damaged. Running can sometimes injure the knee by straining the patellar tendon. The cartilage cushions, menisci, within the knee are also frequently damaged by severe twisting. A torn meniscus is very painful and usually requires surgical repair.
Okay, moving on. We can check out the tibia fibula. You can learn more about the femur, and we can click to learn about the foot and ankle. Start with the femur, and then we go look at the foot and ankle afterwards.
Femur, compact bone.
Bones are formed of a thin outer surface layer, periosteum, containing blood vessels and nerves, an outer shell made of dense compact bone, and a core composed of spongy bone. The dense outer shell is made of orderly columns of bone cells that are mineralized with calcium phosphate to make them resilient and strong. These bone columns are called Haversian canals. The photograph above shows a number of Haversian canals in cross-section. Bone growth and shape is the result of a delicate balance between calcium deposit and resorption. Osteoblasts are bone cells that work to deposit new calcium phosphate taken from the blood, while osteoclasts work to resorb calcium phosphate and return it to the blood. This balance is controlled by many different hormones: growth hormone, sex hormones, adrenal hormones, thyroid hormone, and parathyroid hormone. It is very important that the amount of calcium in the blood be strictly regulated so that muscles and nerves in the body function properly. The growth and shape of bones is also influenced by the mechanical stresses placed on them. This ensures that the bones that support the weight of the body are very strong.
Very interesting.